Okay, let us immediately resume in what is going to be the last Oxygen and Including stream, at least for the time being. So I was playing around a bit with it, and essentially the story is like this. Anybody who was following my Shipbreaker stream this Wednesday, I was thinking about the channel and the next steps and so on and so forth, and the next games we'll be playing. And this stream will be the last stream for Oxygen Included because uh, what's going to be happening in this colony for the foreseeable future is just me spending a lot of time in one spot trying to get all 12 of my duplicants to do one thing. Essentially, at a certain point, your colony gets so huge that everything takes a long time to accomplish. Even when you're giving them the proper priorities, they will be spending a lot of time in an individual place. Last time what we did is we managed to clean everything up, and just in the time it took for us to build this thing here so that our dupes stop being cooked, uh, all of this fell on top. And this is essentially what the game is going to be like for the future. Essentially, next 100 cycles would be just me fighting the losing battle with this while I'm trying to get the launcher set up and getting this all running. So as you can see, that isn't exactly good stream material. So we will essentially have a stream of where we discuss everything that we did build in this colony thus far. I will still be trying to get this thing running, although I don't have a lot of hope that that's going to be completed, simply because of the way it is. It just takes too much time, which isn't that interesting to watch. So, like I said, there isn't really much left to show apart from making a spaceship and sending it up. That's pretty much it. We conquered this asteroid. There is no threat here anymore. Apart from me being an idiot or the dupes being an idiot, which they always will be, uh, you're good. We've been running for 453 cycles. We did ranching, we did food, uh, dupes are living comfortably. Oh, we also have some printables. An Arbor Acorn, why not? Uh, they're healthy, they're stress-free, they have all of their needs. So let's run a little refresher of what we did. Our dupes are living comfortably at 100 and max decor, I believe. Hold on. Yeah, 120 maximum decor. They have carpets, cozy beds, everything. We ranching hatches for coal. They haven't run out of food, nor will they ever. We got some extra oxygen from early game from the polluted water here. We got lucky and got this polluted water vent early on, which pretty much eliminated all of our water needs for the forever. This is currently not working, I hope. Yeah, because it's full. Uh, and that pretty much supplied all the water we need around the base. We've done mushrooms, we even did other plants as well, but we didn't really find it necessary. We did advanced foods, we did regular foods, we gave him a pretty little rec room, a nice med bay. They pretty much have everything they ever needed. We even managed to branch some poker shells, which, yeah, we don't have any more eggs. We have pip eggs, and we need to get a pip out because we actually ran out of pips. All of our pips died out. I wasn't being careful there. We have 4 power solutions, although we only are using 2, well 3. although we don't need to use all three of them at the moment. We can not deconstruct, disable these. Hey Galaxy, sup? Yeah, I'm just going going and running down all of what we did in this base since this is the last stream. I did make a decision on what we will be playing as of next week. For Sunday, anyway. I didn't decide what's going to be the next game for Wednesday. I still think it's going to be an older game, but for Sundays, we're going to be playing Factorio. It's the game is out now. It's a 1.0 release, so I'm going to have a run on that. Gonna see if it's probably gonna do a rail world because I love to play with trains, but I might do a regular random world as well. I'll see. It was a throw between RimWorld and Factorio for a strategy game on Sunday, but consider that Factorio just got out recently. It's kind of appropriate to play it. I like Factorio a lot. So as of next Sunday, we will be playing Factorio instead of Oni. We will be coming back to Oni and make a new colony sometime in the future, but this colony pretty much ends today. We did essentially everything I hoped we would do, except for launching into space. I do need to develop a better system than this. This system works when I'm playing it solo and I'm just playing it, but when I'm playing it on stream, I need to develop something that's faster. Because you can see, the mountain I cleared up is pretty much being rebuilt. And also this. Everything got cooked inside properly, even though this is made of gold. So yeah, not ideal. I need to develop a better solution for this. I don't play around with space all that much, which is why I make so many mistakes out there. Because it's endgame, and that takes a long time to set up. Which is one of the reasons why we will not be to. Because last stream I was talking about a lot of other random stuff, and we were just waiting for this to finish, and this is the end result. So yeah, this isn't a problem. None of, except for this thing that was my screw up, all of this is normal. It just takes a lot of time to clear out, and it's just no point. So I will be going down through all of the elements of the base that we built and what's going to be different when we play the next colony, because next colony we will not be playing. Yeah, I'm playing on windowed. There is a reason for that. Because I am constantly alt-tabbing, and if I do alt-tab when it's full screen, it flashes black. If I'm playing it, I have two screens, so if I just alt-tab while I'm on windowless, on borderless, then you guys see nothing, and I'm on the second window. So it's that's why. But I've been playing with OBS setup, so you probably guys don't really need to see this bottom of where all the stuff I have, but I'm playing with some of the OBS settings for now, so that's why you see that. Normally you don't, because normally I have it set up differently. Today I'm actually, instead of capturing a game, I'm capturing a window. I'm capturing this entire screen because I want to see if that's going to affect my bitrate. Because somebody told me that it might actually improve bitrate if you use capture monitor, capture screen instead of capture just the game. I don't think that's true, but I wanted to test it out. So today everybody is being a guinea pig while I'm testing this out. It's not that it matters really. It's not that I normally play these games like this anyway. You just don't see it. I'm alt-tabbing a lot when I play games. That's why I like to play games windowed. I do a lot of multitasking. Anyway, so as far as the dupe's living arrangements, they are imperfect, but it took, apart from the plastics that you have to get the oil for, everything else can be done pretty early on, as provided that you have an artist dupe. There will be people who will say that you can get any of your dupes to do artistry right off the bat. I prefer not to, because art is not an important task early on. You can see here art fundamentals. So for some of our early dupes, for Princess Consuela Banana, uh, she is a digger and a constructor, and she has improved carrying. These things are more important than art fundamentals. Galaxy, do you want me to run you through all of the icons that I have? Yeah, I do have Firefox, so I prefer Firefox. Chrome is mostly used by my wife because we share the computer. There's Steam, there's Battle.net, there's Discord, there's the MiTorrent, uh, there is the VLC, uh, this thing. That's for videos. This, I don't even know what this is. This is the printer application. Yeah, I don't use the printer that often. The GOG Galaxy, this is what I use to play games. And I will make this point right now. Anybody who doesn't use GOG and is playing a lot of games, you need this. I was pissed off with game developers and publishers for a long time because everything now gets published on their own launcher. There is Steam, there is Origin, there is Uplay, there is Epic, and each one of them have their own. GOG made this. This is called GOG Galaxy V2.0. This lets you put all of the games from all of those individual launchers into one single one. So I am running all of the games from a single screen, regardless if they come from Steam, from Origin, Uplay, or Epic. I can have them all in a single screen. I can install them from here. I can uninstall them from here. I can see the status of them from here. It follows all of the details. It follows all of your achievements, everything, and it's absolutely marvelous. You can see the stats for my own game that I've played 311 hours of it total. Uh, it is it's free to use. It's absolutely marvelous. And anybody who is playing a lot of games and is constantly switching between Steam and Origin and other, just get GOG. This is so much simpler. I love GOG. It is absolutely marvelous. Uh, and yeah, do you have the OBS and the game itself? So that's all the icons. If that clears up. So returning back to the colony at hand, and you can see that right now I've set up my colony so well that I can pretty much just doze off and it won't affect anything because I've set them up so properly that they can work, they can sleep, they don't really need my input at all anymore. That's one of the reasons why we will be ending this colony today. Because there's nothing else for me to do apart from going into space, which takes bloody ages to do. Because this is just step one. After that goes the rocket silos, which I was talking about before, which I would again have to dig up. It would be 100+ cycles just to do that. Yeah, I've been hearing reports lately that Twitch has been very unstable for people lately. I myself haven't noticed though. I haven't been even when I'm watching other streamers. I haven't noticed any problems with Twitch, but I believe that there are people who are having some trouble. Oh, more hatchling eggs. Why not? We can actually break some eggs. Uh, we have more than enough. So yeah, I've set up this colony so well that I don't really need to worry about them anymore. Apart from them getting in some kind of an accident, they will continue existing without my input for as long as they can, really. Uh, I'm just thinking what I'm going to be focusing on this stream to actually do something because right now I'm just scrolling, seeing what they've been doing. So let's go through all of the facilities I've set up and the automations I've did. So they have their mess room here. This is something that is early morale boost that you've seen me do, and it's very simple to set up. All you need is a single uh, morale item, which can be the flower pot. You need one recreational room item, which can be the water cooler, and then you just need mess hall tables. And this is uh, Great Hall, and that's +6 on morale. That's a big boost. You can get this really early on. Galaxy, what do you mean that you're 10% done with Rimworld unmodded? You mean that you got 10% of it of its tasks completed, or what do you mean? Yeah, Room Sense mod is a good mod for Rimworld. I prefer vanilla, but I do like some of the mods. I spoke about that before. Let's see what else. I always set up storage somewhere nearby because they will be running back and forth. Uh, the bathroom is the very first room I will always set up, of course, with latrines first and then lavatories later on. This is again a morale boost that you want, because the more morale boost you can get early on, the easier your game will go. We set up the power plant here. We start with coal generators. I will say this, as I said before, do not set up your power plants until you have access to a smart battery. The reason for it being, without a smart battery there, you will just eat all of your coal supply, because these will run non-stop regardless if the power is actually needed or not. With a smart battery, you can automate the process for these only to run, as you can, they are now stopped. They only run when the total charge in these batteries goes to I believe 10%, 5%. So when it's on 5%, it triggers all of the connected power plants. You have. I get what you mean, Galaxy Squad. Uh, but what really makes the RimWorld game is what narrators have you chosen? Are you playing the chillax, the classic, or the random? If one of them is a wimp, keep him out of combat. If, even better, hide him, because he will get shot first if you force him into combat. So if you have a wimp, uh, keep him away from combat and keep him away from animals, and don't assign him to animal taming, because a wimp will get attacked by animals and die. I don't like wimp. A wimp is a very bad characteristic in RimWorld, at least for me. I don't like it. This is our oxygen generator. I've gave you a very big tour before. This setup works brilliantly. This you can ignore. This was just for water cooling, but it became unnecessary. Uh, this setup moderates the temperature to be exactly the way you need it, making sure that your base is always climate controlled and fresh. This is a really good setup. I would argue it's one of the best setups for an oxygen generation. I believe there are people who have better ones, but this is the one I like. This is the one that I use because it can handle a decent volume of oxygen, and you can always expand this. So you can add additional pumps and additional oxidizers, and make a greater volume of oxygen if you need to. So it's not fixed to this size, which makes it good. We have our gas here. We got lucky with two natural gas geysers, but even then we ran into some shortcuts, well, not shortcuts, but shortcomings of gas, for which we then set up this little monster, which we hate. Now this is a petroleum generator, and as you know, it does 1200 watts of power, but at the same time it produces a crap ton of CO2 and a lot of temperature. So it's always a pain to manage, and I prefer to avoid it whenever I can. But sometimes you, especially mid to late game, you do need one until you get the solar power. Right now, this all runs so well that I'm not really dependent on the solar power, which we didn't even finish setting up because of the earlier things I've mentioned. This water loop is kind of overcomplicated, and next time we do the colony, I will do it differently. The loop itself is fine. I just didn't think properly about the placement of this water tank. I completely disregard the fact that the water sieve actually gets heated up. It actually produces temperature, so it's like I've put a water tank next to the stove. Ideally, I should have put this water tank into a cold room or in a cold biome so that it can be constantly cooled. And that would have solved our problems that we had here with the water warming up all of the plants. And what's your problem? Fertilization. We have run out of slime? Really? Yeah, we run out of... Oh, it finally happened. We finally ran out of slime. Well, slime is abundant. Here's some more slime. There we go. That'll be more slime. Slime is abundant. We will never have a slime deficit. Galaxy Squad, when I'm starting up a RimWorld colony, if I'm playing the scenario with the three of them, I always have one shooter, one melee, and I randomize them until I get somebody who has construction at least 8, I think, uh, and who has no construction 10 and botany or planting 8, because that way I can grow heal root from the start, and I can also build the solar collectors from the get-go without needing to train the construction to that point. Also, I prefer to have at least one shooter who has shooting at least 7, preferably 10 if possible. And if you're going for a melee dude, melee has to be 10 or plus. If it's under 10, don't even bother making a melee dude. It's just he just won't be tanky enough to kill fast. Yeah, if you can get lucky to get some good peons from a raid, then that's excellent. I'm very selective when it comes to the people that are going to be part of my colony on RimWorld, because I don't want to be stuck with colonists which will be detrimental to the colony, and then I have just problems with it. For example, if I see that the peon has any kind of addiction, that's an immediate no. I will rather execute him on the spot than even chance having him become a part of the colony. You don't want colonists with addictions, because the moment you get any kind of opiate or alcohol in your colony, they will go on a binge and cause problems. Having cannibals is fun though. Okay, let's incubate some hatch eggs. We're running low on hatches. So a few things that we will be doing differently in the next. Yeah, addictions are bad. You just want you don't want any colonies with addictions. So some of the things we will be doing differently when we do the next colony, when we return. So some of the lessons learned. I've mentioned this in previous streams, that this game, one of the reasons why Oni is so great is because every time you come to the point where you're ready to walk away from a colony, you can look at the things that you've done and think about what you would have done differently, and what would you like to have done differently, what would work better for you in the future. Why not? So one of the things that I will be doing differently in the next colony is I will be making the storage differently. I will also make an automated coal storage for the coal power plant using shipping, so that it doesn't require dupes to service them anymore. I will also make a larger hatch farm so that we have a better influx of coal. I will definitely do a better water loop because this is too complicated, and I should have placed this farm better. As far as power plants are concerned, apart from this part, everything was fine. I'm happy with this design. This works well. I would make sure next time to make it more the wider so that it can account for additional additional generators in the same line because I've made it just one tile too short to place additional generators. Yeah, the problem is in RimWorld if you leave them to another problem with addiction is if you leave them to their own devices uh, and uh, and they have an addiction, what they will do is they will go on a rampage. They will uh, because they will be suffering from withdrawals, and your base will suffer as a result. So it's a no-win situation. Essentially, you can't win with them, which is why it's better to just not have them. So if I see that one of the people I captured in RimWorld has an addiction, I will simply not bother with him. And now we see the problems that I've made here. Now, see, this was fine until water was introduced, and this goes back to how I said how the temperature is being passed. Well, this was in a vacuum, it was fine, but you can see now because there's water here and it's very hot, that water has turned to steam. And while that steam is going away, the presence of steam allows the temperature to pass between the floor, the liquid, and the objects within them, damaging them. So again, I've made this poorly because I was rushing and I wasn't thinking ahead properly. I just wanted to finish this. As a result, I created more problems than I would have normally had. And now I'm just having one problem after another. Now, because of the water, because this is melting. Welcome back, Alex Squad. Sorry about to hear about your internet. Uh, so yeah, we are in a position where we're just constantly trying to get back to zero, and this and now this is damaged and this is damaged because again same thing. We have 170 degrees temperature here, all created from that water. So I've this will definitely next time we do a colony, I will do this much differently. First of all, this will be set up before we open it up to the space, and I will have it isolated and vacuumed before anything is done inside. Also, I will set up the Atmos suit docks before going in to prevent my dupes being cooked. I was being very blasé about it because I was like, but it's gonna be fine. There's nothing here to harm them. Yeah, many things there to harm them. But yeah, that's the thing. Every single time you make a colony, you learn a few things, and then you do it differently next time around. Some of the things that we didn't get to play around this time, which I will try to, is we didn't get to play with the salt water for salads. The reason why we didn't is because I didn't find it necessary, uh, and the reason that is because I was doing this a very, let's say, in a very safe way, like very confined way, because I didn't know how many cycles it will take before the game starts lagging. So next time that I do a colony, we will be doing a mega base instead. Instead of going subtle and civilized and aimed, next time we will be doing maximum of everything. So there will be the maximum size for a mess hall, the maximum size for a kitchen, a maximum size. So I will be expanding it much more than I have for this colony. Also, you can see that those two Wheeze words pretty much cooled off the entire region. This was all orange. This was all hot. So we can remove these now. I will say this. I said this before. I said this again. Wheezeworts are awesome. You can only though randomize the starting ones, Galaxy Squad. You can't randomize the ones that you get from the mission onwards. So the ones that you meet in the world, you can't randomize those. That's why you want to randomize the initial three as much as you can, so that the randoms you get from that are they give you the best possible way. This is incredibly important when you build when you start. On the lone survivor scenario. And why don't I have a pip? I know I put a pip to... It seems we've run out of pips. This is unfortunate. There will be pip eggs eventually, but... I know I put one egg to be hatched. Or did I? We don't have any more pip eggs. What happened to that pip? Oh well. Unfortunate, but happens. One thing I'm actually quite pleased with is the oil refinery, because usually oil refinery is a headache, but this has worked quite well. So in case we need petroleum or plastic, we can have solid access to it. They've made some changes. Your plastic isn't as needed, at least for low to mid tech, as it was before. I will say one thing about these reports that you can get for every single... these things are not entirely accurate, and for example, the oxygen generation counts all the oxygen that these things produced, but doesn't account for the oxygen produced by these things. So polluted water, algae, and so on. So those are not counted. We get a lot of oxygen from this, and that's not counted there for some reason. So it's something to keep in mind. But yeah, this is essentially how your colony should look like. Well, should look like. You can make your colony in a million different ways, but when you have a stable colony, you know that, because first of all, this is 0 and 0, and second of all of your vitals are high, your people are happy, and they can all move without needing your input. You're not having any alarms blimping, and everything works absolutely fine. More asteroids falling. And for some reason they can't reach that place now. Because this is broken, because there's water in place. But yeah, the thing is, when you do make a mistake, those mistakes tend to haunt you. Why is this unreachable? I don't understand why is that unreachable. With Galaxy, what do you mean you start a world without seeing anybody's stats? You just put put it blind? The ice is melting, and this is because the temperature here is rising. This is gonna be annoying. We can fix this until we get rid of the water. But during this stream you could also see me do some of the mistakes, and now you know how to not make them. Scalding, yeah, because this water is now hot. Your dupe won't be scolded when mopping if the mop job is on the edge. But if he has to walk over to the puddle and through it in order to start mopping, then they will get scalding if the water is too hot, or if they will get not frostbite, but who got slime lung? How did you get slime lung? Let's check the germ situation. This is germy, but that's gonna die off in oxygen. Oh yeah, we have plenty of germs here because of this. We should act upon this, and where are we gonna put it? Might as well. Slime lung germs will die off in oxygen, but they still get to you, so you should clear them out whenever you can. I don't like a completely blind start, Galaxy. In my case, a completely blind start can is well, for if you're starting with 3 colonists, it can work. But if you're playing the lone survivor, that can be a very short run because there are some traits that in combination or just alone can make your colonies pretty much be suicidal. It's fun for a challenge, but you're really depending on the random number generator a lot. And the random number generator is never your ally. You can see how much it never is your ally just by how many randomizations you have to go through before you find a colonist which is actually just decent. And you can also see it from all the raiders that you get. Very rarely you get somebody who's actually perfect for your colony, and you just have to cover for their problems. I'm actually enjoying the lone survivor a lot because you have to. The lone survival plays a lot slower, and you just have to essentially be very careful about what you're prioritizing and what you're doing. But once you, and also depends on what region you're playing on. But once you get the shelter set up, and if you set it up with proper traps, which are always available from the start, you can become quite powerful quite quickly because you don't depend on anybody else. The only thing that always messes me up is if I'm playing a lone survival with Randy Random, because if he with Randy Random you can get a very powerful raid very early on, and then you're just screwed one way or the other. You can't save yourself from that. If you get like a 4 or 5 person raid early on, yeah, good luck. That's all I can say. Good luck. With Cassandra Classic and with the Phoebe Chillax narrators, the early raids will always be 2 to 3 people max. With Random, you can have a 5-man raid. You can imagine how a 5-man raid looks like if you start even with a 3-man survivor start. It can be quite challenging when you have a knife, a pistol, and a rifle, and depending on how your randomization went before, then they might be shit at it. That's why I'm very picky with early with randomizations for the starting colonists. You need them to be good. You need them to be good in their roles. With lone survivor, Randy Random, and on the highest difficulty. Oof, it really depends on your start. It really depends on your start. And how much mercy the random number generator gives you. If it doesn't give you time to set up properly, no amount of skill will save you. It just isn't physically possible because you don't have enough time. You just don't have enough time to set everything up that you need to get everything running. Another thing that we will note for the next colony, when we are digging through oh, hold on. Now this is an interesting problem now because this is broken. Nobody can get through here. Okay, can I get another cable running there? Yeah, now I know why this is unreachable because so this is an interesting problem. Uh, this is broken and they can't get past the checkpoint to fix it. Okie doke. That's unfortunate. If I disable it, will that let them through? I hope so. We'll see. And I'm gonna block this off. Well, yeah, that works. Fixed. Also, next time when we come back, Tony, there will be more updates. There is already an update that came a few weeks after I started this run, but we never got to experience. I don't know yet what's new inside of it because I've been playing Shipbreaker instead of this. But I don't think there was a lot of that extra content. Also, next time when we play, I'm going to be doing more digging out. This time around, I was playing it as I normally do, with all of my stuff just boring into and making caves. Next time, we'll just do a proper dig out. We don't have to, but I want to. Only thing we'll be leaving in place are the abyssalite walls, because they make nice temperature blockages. This is you can see I'm doing very little clicking. I'm just pointing them to the task that they need to do first. And they are doing they fixed it, perfect. So now we enable this and you can go back to work. There we go. It is once it is like RimWorld. It's difficult to start. As in you will I should have waited for them to enable the building before I told them that they can go there to work. Now they will have some scolded dupes, but that's fine. Like in RimWorld, it takes some time to get to grips, and when you don't know, the beginning can be very, very difficult. Also, depending on which asteroid you play on, you have to adapt to different problems in the beginning. I wanted our first colony that we're streaming to be on the ideal because this is the best circumstances you can ever have. You start in a good spot, the resources are plentiful. Uh, I mean, you will always get the bare minimum resources that you need to survive, but depending on which asteroid you play on, some resources will be more abundant than others. Or an ideal asteroid, you have enough coal, you have enough dirt, you have enough slime, you have enough uh, pretty much everything. So it's not a problem. If you play a different asteroid, you have different issues on it. The most difficult for me is the Oasis one, and I believe that for most people they consider that one to be the hardest one. The Oasis one is you start on a hot asteroid, and only your starting area, I'll show you. You can see that our starting area is green, and even though some of it became hotter because of industry running, it's still mostly green, even also because I also have been running my thermal adjustments like Wheezeworths and stuff. But on an Oasis, that temperature is above 30 and it encroaches. So it gets closer. You only have one pocket of ideal temperature. Everything else is hot. So you can see that there are cold and warm biomes here, and the warm are 45 degrees. On an Oasis, it's all 50 plus. There are no cold biomes, and it slowly encroaches. So one of the first things you want is researching the insulation, and then making an insulating wall around your ideal environment in order to protect yourself from that heat. Galaxy Squad, that's actually very good because that makes the game easier for you. If you're good at resource management, then that's something that helps you a lot. In this game, it's the only resource that you have to always keep running is the one that comes from the title, the oxygen, next food. But even if you don't have a stable food source, there are always ways around that. You can make a microbe musher. For that, you will just need water and dirt, and you'll be able to make food. Disgusting food, you're essentially feeding them mud pies, but it'll feed them. And then you can do muck root and other things. So if you have to keep your dupes also happy, but that's not such much of a problem if you just do the basic stuff. The basic stuff is give them a room, give them a give them somewhere to poop, and give them somewhere to eat. That will be more than enough to get your morale to plus 15 to 20. And that way you can run most skills that you need without worrying of being stressed. Most of the stress I get is because I sent them somewhere where it's either too cold or too hot, and they get baked or they get either baked or they get frozen. So it's my fault, not theirs. And I believe I'm gonna tell them to make some glass to fix that solar panel, even though the solar panel isn't even operational yet. I'm gonna try and get to the sensor, build it, and see if we can get this thing running. I'm not having high hopes for it, but we'll try because it takes so much time. It takes so much time for them to dig through, get everything sorted, and this uh, uh, because I have gases inside, it keeps being broken, even though it's made out of gold. If this was in vacuum, this wouldn't be happening, but it isn't in vacuum because I let gases in. So next time, another thing we're going to be doing differently is I'm going to make an airlock so that no gases can escape, apart the ones that I want to remove. And that way we will not run into these problems because this happens just because I'm letting gas in. There will be Space Haven. I will definitely be streaming Space Haven when Space Haven has more to show. I could have a short Space Haven stream after Factorio. Hopefully they will be adding some content by then because right now Space Haven doesn't have a lot to show. By the time you leave the third system, you pretty much have your ship at maximum what you can make with it. And I've spoken about this before. The basic resource that you need in Space Haven is energy rod. You will get enough energy rods for one ship quite easily if you're playing on medium difficulty. However, if you want to build more than one ship and have a fleet of ships, you won't have enough. And no matter what you do, you won't have enough because energy rods are also used to power up your ship's shields and to power up and to make the ammunition for your gun batteries. So while you might have enough energy rods early on, you will run out of them quite quickly. And if you have more than one ship, and I've tested this, if I've ran my game on easy difficulty with 3 ships, halfway through I didn't have enough fuel. I raided every sector, I destroyed every pirate vessel, I've mined out every asteroid, I've harvested, I've broken apart every derelict I found, and there was simply not enough energy rods to fuel everything for those 3 ships. Also, the amount of blocks that you have to customize your ships with, right now there's nothing. You have a couch, a chair, a table, a lamp, an arcade machine, and a jukebox. That's it. So you can't really do much in terms of customization of the ship. I mean, you can make different shapes of the ship, but they all will be pretty much performing exactly the same. So we can have a short Space Haven stream after the Factorio one, because it will essentially only be for what I can show. There is no point in trying to get to the center of the galaxy in Space Haven, because after you switch through the after you pass the 5th or 6th space system, nothing that you encounter will make any difference whatsoever. I was on my medium playthrough, I got to the center of the galaxy, and the final ships that I was meeting were still the same ships. You don't meet more ships, so you don't run into more pirate vessels at once. You don't run into more ally vessels at once. It's still one to one. It's still just a single incursion, and you can either evade them or you can fight them. And that's another problem. If you choose to evade pirates, you're going to run out of warp fuel. If you have 3 ships, that's 3 ships you need to fuel up. You just don't have enough. So they need to do some balancing, or they need to find a way to get energy rods in a different way. Because I was doing everything. I was trading. I was doing raids. I was doing destroying pirates. All of it. It just there isn't enough energy rods. Not if you want to have a fleet. It's enough if you want to have one ship. Works fine for one ship. Not if you want to have more. Also, when you want to construct additional ships, you can't make big ones. You can make small and medium ones. You can't make one that has 16 system points. So I was thinking that a nice way around the problem of having only one ship is make 2 big ships, because you could barely scrounge up enough fuel to have 2 ships. Yeah, you can't. At least at this point, unless there has been a patch I didn't see, you can't make a bigger ship than 8 points, 16 being the most. So you there's no point. Also, all of the ships that you meet, the biggest ship you can fight against is the one with 2 shields and 4 cannons. You can make the same ship, and the AI will always give up sooner than you. So there's no point, because they will call for surrender before you will. Yeah, exactly. You have to spend more fuel if you have 2 or 3 ships. That's exactly what I'm saying. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to have a single ship that can actually handle everything. But right currently in Space Haven, if you want to play with fleets and which I wanted, because after reach like 1/3 of the galaxy, I wanted to play around with something else. I was running out of space for cargo. I didn't have enough, so I had to make another ship to be able to keep raiding and keep zero, because I was full of cargo. And because another thing that needs to be reworked is the trading system. Because you can only trade 10 items at a time in a single trade, 4 trades maximum. MS Torture Ship. That's a good name. I'm using that. Be warned, when I do a Space Haven stream, I'm gonna call it the MSS Torture Ship. That's an awesome name for a ship. MSS Torture Ship. In Galaxy, that's an awesome name for a ship. Oh my god. But that's the thing. When I tried to make bigger ships, and it made no sense. And I had not enough more room, and I couldn't trade it off because every ship that I would come across, you can do maximum of 4 trades each on each ship. Okay, okay, I won't use it. I've been prohibited by you. I will not use that name. Maybe I'll use it in a different language so you won't know. But yeah, as I was saying, I didn't have enough room for all the stuff, and I couldn't trade it off. Because the way how trades work in Space Haven, you don't really get that much for the most of the stuff that you're getting. That's something. That's what you mentioned. Somebody said this in a or Steam post, that one of the things that they should add is a Steam Workshop, and specifically Steam Workshop in such a way that you would I'm kind of preoccupied. So Steam Workshop in a way that you would essentially have players build ships that you can encounter in the game, so that some of the pirate ships and the ships of other factions you meet would actually be player made and not made by the developers, and that would make it more interesting. And I completely agree with that assessment. That would be awesome. The problem I have with that idea is right now, because there is not much variety. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to do that stream right now. Is there's not enough variety. There is one weapon system in the game. There is one shield. Uh, it's very basic at the moment. There is no content to. For Space Haven, I could pretty much literally, and I might even do that just for the kicks. Uh, you can show everything in a single stream, in a single 2 to 3 hour stream. I could pretty much show everything because everything is so basic. Even the materials itself that you use to get everything done are, you got them from the start. There is no progression. There is no research or anything that you could get more stuff later on. Everything is open to you from the moment you start. So you can get enough materials to maximize your ship firepower on the very first uh, system, technically. Because the strongest ship you can currently make in Space Haven, that is the most balanced, is 2 shields, 4 cannons. That's it. 2 shields, 4 cannons, and 2 stabilizers. That's meteors. Oh, meteors. Yeah, that's perfect. Did I make these out of lead? I think I made these out of lead. Well, the research is something that's probably gonna show up at some point. I'm going to do some research on myself on Space Haven to see if they have schedule or a roadmap or something that shows what they plan to do with the game. Because the game is fun. I mean, I did play. Let me see how much I played it. Where is my Space Haven? There it is. I've played 46 hours. So as you can see, I've played quite enough of Space Haven. 46 hours. And in those 46 hours, I did pretty much everything that I could have done. I could have done.